Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Building a SaaS, where we sit down for half an hour a day and we are on the road to building a software as a service. So the software as a service that we are building is called Fancy Bar, and it is a call to action bar that somebody can add to their website. And this software as a service is built using the Wave SaaS starter kit. So be sure to check out devdojo.com/wave if you want to follow along and create your own SaaS using this starter kit. This video is also sponsored by Cloudways, so if you want to get a free $50 hosting credit from Cloudways and easily host your Laravel and Wave applications, be sure to come to cloudways.com and click on Start Free and then enter in promo code devdojo and you will get a free $50 hosting credit. Okay, so where we left off last time was we had this page that we could go to, so somebody can enter in a URL. And it's going to come to the page where it's going to take a snapshot of that URL. And then we're going to be able to click on each of these thumbnails to show the bar dropdown. So what we need to do is we need to actually add these different thumbnails here. So if we go to our website /bars, we have each of these thumbnails right here where we can preview the dropdown right there. So let's go here and let's add some of those thumbnails right up here on top. So let me go to the view that we have the bars template, and I think that should be inside of our resources, views. Let's see, we had themes, that was tall stack, and bars right there. So we have each of these thumbnails right here, and I'm wondering if I should actually store this in a partial. So maybe I can call this like bar thumbnail. So let me see inside of our partials. Yeah, maybe I'll just save this as a new file and just call this bar-thumbnail.blade.php. Okay, and then I can copy this content and put it right here. So what do we need here? We need the key for the specific bar. So I don't know if I want to include, yeah, I mean, maybe I want to actually have bars thumbnails in here. You know, I don't even know if I need this as a partial. Let's go ahead and, sorry, I'm kind of like going back and forth, but it's just how it goes. So maybe I just copy this right here and then I bring this into our create. So these bars are going to be right here. And I think we're also going to need to pass in the specific bars. So from this bars right here, how are we actually getting all of these? I think that's inside of our bar.php. No, let's see. HTTP, Livewire, bar, create. Okay, let's go back to the routes, web.php, and let's trace this back. So bars goes to bar controller show. Actually, bars goes to bar controller index. So we go to bar controller and the index method. Oh, okay. Simple enough. We can just grab that and then we have all of the bars in that view. So this was for our create file. So let's open up our create.php. This is our Livewire controller create, and instead of our mount, yeah. So I could just say public bars, and inside of the mount method, let's go ahead and say bars equals config bars. So now we should have this bars. Actually, we should just have bars available inside of our view. That is the awesomeness of Livewire. So for each bars as bar, yeah, that looks good. So I don't know how this is going to look. The best thing to do is just to save it and then see what it looks like. Let's comment those ones out. Let's go back here and reload. Whoa, invalid argument supplied for each. So we don't have bars available to us. Let's see. Oh, I always do that. We need to set this arrow bars. Reload, and I think that we actually have those on there, but they're hidden. Yeah, those are hidden right there. So we need to change the styles of this a little bit. So at the create, so we don't want W screen or H screen because that's going to make it the width of the full screen and the height of the screen. So how about we take that off and let's see, we have the flex max W4 XL. We have grid columns 12. Yeah, let's copy these grid classes, move it right there, and then let's just take this off right here. And maybe we want, instead of the max W4 XL, maybe we want the 7XL. So we want this to be a little bit wider. Let's see what that looks like. Whoa, a little crazy. But we can easily fix that. So let's see what we want here. So this is H32 and all this is kind of overflowing. So we need to change, I think it's the height of this thumbnail. So this thumbnail class equals H-20. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I mean, I guess the height looks better, but you obviously can't see what that looks like. So that's because we're inside of this grid. So maybe instead of a grid, maybe I just want this to be flex for now. And I could always just change this later. Yeah, let's keep that as flex. We don't need that column span. So we probably will need to specify a width, and then the height should automatically follow from there. So we'll say H full, and let's go ahead and set W of, we'll try 40. Reload that. Whoa. Okay. H-auto. There we go. Okay, that looks quite a bit better actually. So now we can see that we have all those bars right up there. And one part of like building out your application is you're going to see other applications out there. You're going to see like UIs that maybe you want to try and incorporate in yours. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I actually went to GitHub not too long ago, and I kind of liked the way that they set up their new pages. So if you go to their GitHub pages, let's say choose a theme. Okay, so this is kind of like their, bar of bars. So they have these thumbnails here, and then you can move over to see more of them. So I really do kind of like this layout. So let me see, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 thumbnails, and then they have arrows that you can move left and right. And that's probably what we're gonna do in our UI. So right here, we'll probably have some arrows that you can move left and right to view all of the bars. So I do kind of like that. Let me try and replicate this a little bit. So I think our thumbnails actually should be a little bit larger. So instead of that being H20, maybe I want to bump this up a little bit. So we want the H, let's say instead of 40, what's the next level? 48. And then maybe W, we want that to be, let's try 48 as well. See what that looks like. That's a little bit better. I kind of like that. And so I want this also to be centered. So we have W48 H auto. Let's see, item center, justify between. That should actually be centering. Let me go ahead and figure this out. Good old layout issues. So why did that bar actually shrink? Okay. I think that's due to the flex container, but let's go ahead and see what we have here. Okay, so we need to set this to H-full, and I believe if we set that, yeah, then those items will align vertically center. So let's say H-full right here, and let's reload that. Okay. And I think even before adding the left and the right, maybe I can just try and get this to function. So you click on this bar, and obviously nothing's going to happen because we haven't tied in that functionality that we have right here. So let's go ahead and bring some of that over. But before I do that, maybe I should just clean up this view a little bit. And I think this is something that I kind of struggle with, is I'll just keep on going, and then I sometimes don't clean up my views until I take that back. There are some times where I clean up my views and it does feel nice because I'm like, oh, this code looks really clean. But other times that I'm just pushing forward and I don't end up cleaning up my views and they just kind of end up all messy. But it is nice to clean up the layout a little bit. Let me see, beautify selection, HTML. Okay, that looks good. Let's clean this up. Have our for each right there. Okay, so we have our create, and let's see what we did inside of here for our bars. So this was, I don't remember what video this was that we did, but we created this function called open bar. It takes in the number, the style, and then we also had a delay. And it basically brings in this iframe right here. So let's kind of just take this over to our other view and see what we're dealing with here. Okay. So let's just, we'll just pop that in there. Open bar. Let's see where we called that function. Yeah, so on click, open bar, key, the bar style. Okay. And I think we also had these styles. That's probably going to be important. It's probably not the best idea to add, styles in different places and scripts right here, but I think we're going to do it anyway. Okay. So we click on this, and I wonder if that's actually showing behind. Let's see, do we have an iframe that's actually been added in there? Not sure. Let me set this to hidden. Nope, I don't see anything in there. Oh, we do have a console error though. Aha. Okay, so inner HTML of null. So let's go back to bars, inner HTML. That's right, we do not have the container. So we need to actually add this container somewhere on the page. And this is good now because we can specify where we want that iframe to show. And we do want this to show actually right here above the image, because we want to show the user what it's going to look like on their website. So maybe I need to add a container around both the container around this fancy bar container. So let me add a div class max w. Let's change this to 5xl mx auto. We'll say rounded -lg and overflow hidden. Okay, so we have the fancy bar, and this is where the iframe should actually be loading. And this image is the image screenshot of the website. So let's say w full h auto. Okay, let's try this out now and see what we're dealing with. So reload that page, go back here and click, and we still didn't get the bar. Let's see. Okay, so we didn't get a console error. Let's see what's inside of this div fancy bar. There's nothing in there. Okay, let's go back to some debugging. So we have the container here. And this is what I like to do. Sometimes I'll just alert like, hey-o, and then I kind of just backtrace to see where I'm at in the execution of the code. So we know that if we click on this and we get that message that we have hit this, and we know that we got the container from fancy bar, and then we set the inner HTML, and then we set this timeout. Okay, so we should be setting the inner HTML to this iframe. So I wonder why that's not working. Let's try this again. Oh, it actually showed up at the top. Okay. Okay, so I think what we're dealing with here is this fancy bar. Where is the styles for that? I think this, okay, right here. This is probably set to like an absolute, like top. Well, first off, anything that's absolute needs to have a relative parent if you want the absolute element to live inside. Okay, that did not work. Okay, let's go back and let me see how we're going to debug this. So we know that it's actually showing. We're getting the iframe in there. So if I look at fancy bar, that is actually not showing. But I was able to see the iframe. Let's see. And it seems to show up and then it goes away. Is that what's happening? Okay. Okay. I know what's probably happening. Okay. So we are actually injecting this and then Livewire is removing it. So because Livewire does every single time like we do a server request, it is actually going to give us back the DOM that was originally there. I think that's what's going on. Let me see. Let me set, I think it's wire::ignore, and then Livewire should ignore any of those changes that happen. Okay, so that's why it was hiding. So let's see, we do have the iframe there inside of Fancy Bar. And why was this actually not showing where it's supposed to? So let me set this class equal to absolute. Let me try this out. Click on that bar. It's still loading up there. So we need to figure out how we can get it to load right here instead. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Fancy Bar. Okay, that is right there. Where's the iframe is inside of that, but the iframe is set to, what are those styles? I do not know why my styles is down here instead of to the right. Nope, that's not it. Okay. Styles, why don't you get to the right of the screen? Okay, I'm not going to figure it out. I know somebody's probably going to leave a comment about how I move this to the right. Settings. Okay, who cares? It is right there, and that's because the position is fixed. So what if we were to set that to absolute? Let me see where that's at now. So we have that iframe. So it actually does show up there, but that doesn't seem to be working. So fixed. So that is right there. Huh. I got to figure out why that's not showing if it is absolute. So absolute. Let's go ahead and set a background color so we can see if it's showing anywhere. Background, we'll set this to red. And that is not showing. Let's see what it looks like. So it has a width of 0. Should be, let's see, width. Let's do, I don't know, 200 px. Okay, so that is showing. I don't know why it's not listening to the width of 100%. And maybe that is because, okay, that's because our bar is set to a width of, it doesn't even have a width set. So we say W full, and I think this is going to resolve it. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so let's set the class of W full right here, and we need to change the Fancy Bar to be not fixed, but that's going to be absolute. And I'm wondering if that's actually going to change once it gets embedded in someone's site. But for now, for this specific use case, maybe I could say Fancy Bar. Maybe I say if Fancy Bar dot absolute, if it has that class, then we set the iframe to absolute. Let me see where we are with our styles first. How are we on time? Okay, maybe we got about 10 more minutes. I think we can get this to look right, and then I think we can end the video there. So let's go to our assets, resources, views, themes, okay, tall stack, assets, SaaS, and let's see where the iframe is. Iframe, oh, Fancy Bar. Where are those styles at? Where are we getting those styles? Where are you, Mr. Fancy Bar? Iframe. So we have, oh, okay. Did we just hard code that? Oh, okay. Okay. I think I know where that's at. Let me go to config, and inside of the bars, oh, that's right. So each bar actually has its own style inside of it, because some of the bars we want to show at the bottom right. So I guess this could be, We may have to change the position of this later on, but just so we can get this preview to work, let's go ahead and set these to absolute. Boom. Position absolute and absolute. Okay. And what we may even do is maybe we could keep it fixed, and then we could set this whole thing as an iframe, and that's where we show the bar at. I'll have to think through that one. But let's reload this, and let's click on each of these bars, and then that pops down like it is over the website. How cool is that? This one's not working. We'll have to figure why that one's not working right there. But let's go ahead and check out a different website. Let's say disneyplus.com. Okay, so the creator of Disney Plus is like, what would a fancy bar look like on our website? And he goes, bam. It's like, whoa, okay, maybe I'll have to check this out. So I can add this call to action to my website. So it's kind of cool that you can get a preview of what each of the bars is going to look like specifically for your website. And something else that might be kind of cool is I could add kind of like a little fake browser up here. So it looks like this is inside of like a browser window, and you could click to preview each one of these. So I hope you can kind of see where I'm going with this, because this is going to be the page that you create the fancy bar. You can click on which one you want to select, and then you can say continue to customize. So maybe you can change the button color, the background color, the text. And this is going to be both for the website, like you go to the home page and you put in your URL, you create the bar here, and then it's going to be the same way as if you were on the dashboard and you said create new bar. It's going to take you to this create page, and you're going to be logged in, so it'll be able to save all those settings. And probably if you're not logged in, we might save this to HTML5 storage. This way, if you then sign up, all of the progress that you've already done is saved, and it just seems magical to the user. So I think that's it for this video. I'm pretty happy with the progress that we've made. I think this is turning out pretty cool. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with me as I was going through and debugging some of this stuff and testing out some things. It's pretty fun to create these videos. I hope you enjoy watching. Thanks to everyone who left comments in the previous video, and I hope to see you guys again tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out with me as we build a SaaS together. I hope you have a great evening, and I will talk to you in the next video.